Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. And I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this. Coming to you live to tape 25 feet below the surface of the earth. Here for another episodic YouTube adventure for Flashback on a Friday. So we'll even call this episode Flashback Friday. Fans, you're not going to want to miss it. It's episode 11 of the series here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel for Chaos Corner. Follow me on all social media platforms. You know what they are. Besides here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, aka X, at Big Daddy G.O.C. And the G.O.C. stands for the Guardian of Chaos. Follow me on Instagram, the Guardian of Chaos. My 2 accounts on Facebook, that's right, there's 2. J Brony, that's right, J Brony, just like it sounds, and Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian, in honor of my heritage. Follow me on Getter, Gab, Truth Social, Rumble. I cover it all in the IWC because it's me. It's the G.O.C. Go to the community page, leave a comment, navigate the channel here. There's over 3,000 videos. We're coming up and shooting for 1 million total views, 1,500 subscribers. Fans, go to the playlist section. You'll see the over 400 episodes of Chaos Corner, because this isn't a fucking podcast. It's a show. 1 man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. You want to get in touch with me? I have 2 email addresses. That's right, 2. Take out your pen, your pencil, your notebook. chaosbigdaddy2 at yahoo.com. And I'll say it again. chaosbigdaddy, the number 2 at yahoo.com. Also, there's Chaos Big Daddy 11. That's right, Chaos Big Daddy, the number 11 at gmail.com. So that's for all you geeks and goons and dweebs and nerds and virgins and neckbeards and mouth breathers. And yes, my fans, my loyal fans and subscribers, to get in touch with the G.O.C. because at least once a month we go through mail call here on Chaos Corner. You're not going to want to miss mail call. And I read all your feedback and what you have to say to the G.O.C. Again, much love and respect. Shout out to my 2 moderators, Austin Nance and the OTS Tribal Queen. I couldn't do it without you 2 moderating this channel. Hit the like button. As a matter of fact, drop an elbow on that like button. Share, subscribe, become a member. My over 50 years as a historian, researcher, scout, agent, producer, Mark. That's right, I said it, I'm a mark. We're all marks at one point or another if you're in this pro wrestling industry. And of course, my over 3 decades as a pro wrestling manager who came out 2 and 3 times a night at my events, booked over 100 times a year as an independent pro wrestling manager where they paid me to travel all over the country, my airfare, my hotel. Can you let that sink in? Can you put that in your pipe and smoke it? Can you let that marinate? And I took the fucking bumps too. That's right, I took the fucking bumps. How many of you out there can say that? How many of you in this community have even stepped in a ring? I'm just saying. And I'm still active today as a color commentator, play-by-play, interviewer, whatever you want to call it, with my home company at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. That's right, PAPW on all social media platforms with the Paradise 4, and you know who they are. Head trainer down at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, former 4 Horsemen, Power and Glory, Pretty Wonderful, the Young Stallions, been in WrestleMania, Madison Square Garden. Does it get any better than that? And that would be our head trainer, as I said, Pretty Paul Roma. And then there's the owner of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. In the WWF from 84 to 92, the golden era. And that would be one Mr. Mario Mancini. And then, of course, another one of our co-trainers, second-generation grappler, cousin to Roberto Soto. Both his parents were luchadors. He was trained in his basement by his mother and father. And that would be Mr. Paul Perez. And then there's the silent partner. the big man, the owner of the Rib House from Big Steve Bail Bonds, and that would be the 6'6", 380-pound Big Dave Paradise, aka Big Steve Tracy. Those are the Paradise Four, and that's my home company. So I can't, again, thank you everyone for being here. Much love and respect. I already acknowledged? You know what Bully Ray said to me, and I go through this story all the time here on Flashback and on every Chaos Corner show. You know Bully Ray, right? From the Dudleys, perhaps the greatest tag team of all time, ECW, two-time Hall of Famer, co-host of Busted Open Radio, host of Busted Open After Dark, Busted Open 24/7. He said to me personally, back in the locker rooms, when myself and the Outcast Killers, Oman Tortuga and Diablo Santiago, were going for the NWA World Tag Team titles in a series of tables matches. Now listen, none of us are perfect. He said, Chaos. He said, Big Daddy. He looked around at all the boys in the locker room. He said, give Big Daddy 5 spots and he'll fuck up 4 of them. I consider that to be a compliment coming from a 2-time Hall of Famer. What'd I say? Lighten up, man. Kayfabe, man. So, I don't know how many episodes we're going to do here. Go back and check out the first 10. This is from the vault of Chaos Chronicles. I have hundreds and hundreds of VHS tapes and DVDs from my in-ring career and from stuff that I taped back in the 80s into the 90s where there was no remote control. You had to get up and change the channel yourself. From all the territories, bouncing around from pillar to post and coast to coast and border to border, as I always say. That's what you get here on this channel. And then I relate the stories of my own insiders, my own career in ring. All the videos are here on the channel. Go to the playlist, I say it all the time, and I make it relatable to you guys. You come here and learn facts, history. So when you go to the next barbecue, a work convention, next venue, your next show, your next listen to your whatever podcast you listen to, or you're at the water cooler, or you're just hanging out with people in the community. You can have a conversation and make it relatable, and you have actual factual information. That's right, it's an actual factual. That's what you get here on this channel. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm just unique, and I'm different. And if you are a subscriber here or a regular here, because I know you know that I go through the analytics once a month, and I know who's watching, whether you hit the like button or don't, it comes across my analytics. So let that marinate, as I always say. So just you know, and I know that you know that you're watching. And with the people that I know in the business and how word gets around, I know some very special people are watching. We went from averaging 1,000 viewers a week to 2,000, then up to 3,500 to 4,000 to 5,500, all the way up to 10,000 viewers a week on this channel. 50,000 a month when we were at 10,000. 25,000 viewers a month, and then in April it was 50,000. So we're growing by leaps and bounds. We don't compare ourselves, or I don't compare myself to anybody else. This is my love, my passion, my motivation, my stress reliever, and I do it for you, the fans. And if you were here, or even if you're not here, I'm going to continue to do this anyway. It doesn't matter who's watching. I appreciate those that do. And I notice that a lot of people out there that I support and that I give the rub to and that I put over, it works both ways. It's a two-way street. And sometimes the love doesn't always come back. Now, does it? But I don't really give a fuck because, as I said, I'm going to do it anyway. It's about supporting each other. It really is. So here on the shows, you know we bounce all over. We never know when we're going to go off the air. It just happens. Emotional investment, storytelling, ring psychology. That's what you get here with the G.O.C. Check out all the videotapes. Again, I'm repeating myself because that's what I do. Shout out to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because if he's for us, nobody else can be against us. Stay mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit, especially in 2024. We have the upcoming election. We have border invasion. We have wars. We have rumor of wars. We have the planet crumbling and falling apart. We're in the middle of a heat wave. typhoons, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, wildfires, famine, racial division. That's what they want. Situational awareness, like-minded people. Nothing's guaranteed, not even tomorrow. In order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you. And there's three types of people in this world. Those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the G.O.C. and those who follow me that make things happen. So we're going to jump right into it. That's my opening 10-minute monologue. Sometimes we come in cold. Sometimes we come in hot. Sometimes we have an open monologue. Sometimes we don't. You never know what's going to happen on this show or what I'm going to say. But we're going to jump right into it. No copyrights, no algorithms. This is all personal footage. This is strictly for entertainment from the vault here at Chaos Chronicles. So let's get down to brass tacks for episode 11 of Flashback. Let me turn up some volume. I have the whole 80s op board here with the DVD and VHS all in one, and the op boards with the levers and the knobs and the meter. You can't make it up here. I don't have to deal with that bitch, Alexa, the AI bitch that I have heat with. You know they're listening, right? You know it. No more heat right now, because I unplugged the bitch. That's right, I unplugged her. You may be watching on this phone, but right now you can't interfere with me. It's a work, man. Kayfabe, lighten up. And I just came from, before we get started here, I just came from Fuco's Pizza that was reviewed with Dave Portnoy on Barstool Presidente, Barstool Sports. Now, Dave Portnoy, not only with Miss Peaches and the animal activism, adopt, don't shop, but he does pizza review, he does sports. What a channel, Barstool Sports. Dave Portnoy, Presidente. We went to Fuco's. Unbelievable. All three of these pizza places right here in the area of the greater New England tri-state northeast area are all brothers, all related. Portnoy went to all three of them. Fuco's, Christo's, and Luna. Now, I'm not going to say go Google it like the rest of the geeks out here with the brain of a dehydrated baby. Use DuckDuckGo, and I'm going to give you some pizza places here in the Constitution State, in the shadows of Titan Towers, that are perhaps the best in the country. People talk about New York, they talk about Chicago, they talk all over different places, New Jersey, Philadelphia, whatever, about pizza places. But here in the Constitution State, we have some of the best in the world. Never mind the country, and I'm going to name them off, and I want you to go out, and I want you to DuckDuckGo these places. Christo's Pizza, Luna Pizza, Fuco's Pizza, Fuocos, I believe. And then, of course, there's Zupardi's, there's Abate's, there's Modern Pizza, and then, of course, the infamous competition down on Worcester Street between Sally's and Pepe's. There's even, from back in the day, Roseland. So go out as we do my own little pizza review here for all you people out there. There's nothing like pizza. Google, or if you want to be found, DuckDuckGo is even better. It's more of a private search engine. Go to some of those places that I mentioned. Look at their menus. Check them out. Maybe you can order it if you're in the area, but top-notch beats here in the Constitution State. It really is unbelievable how blessed and fortunate we are when it comes to pizza. And remember one thing as well. Always pray over your food. I'm going to throw that out there. Whether you believe it, don't believe it, it certainly couldn't hurt to pray over your food. You never know what's happening in this day and age. I don't want to sit here and continue to ramble on. We're almost 15 minutes in, which means this show of Flashback will probably go off the air. We never know when it's going to go off the air. That's why you always have to come back. Let's see what's happening here on Flashback. I'm going to turn up the volume. I'm going to sit back and relax, man. It's the weekend. It's going to be 90 to 100 degrees across the country. So I'll say that to say this. Well, hold on, man. Don't you dare miss it. You're going to have to look at my dome piece, as I always say. It's nice and cool down here, probably about, I don't know, maybe 68 to 70 degrees in the bunker. Remember, we're 25 feet under the surface of the earth. Up in the lounge right now, the executive offices, as well as the sleeping quarters, is probably about 75 degrees, maybe 76, considering it's 90 outside, and with the humidity about 102, 104, I don't know. We have the Olympic-sized pool about 100 feet away, so if worse comes to worse, let's see what we got here. We're opening up. Well, I see Hercules Hernandez and Bam Bam Bigelow. Sir Oliver Humperdinck is at ringside. It's Saturday night's main event. What a concept. It really was unbelievable in the late 80s into the early 90s. Saturday night's main event, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only an hour. Unbelievable, the concept and what they did here with the World Wrestling Federation. Why it's not brought back today in that time slot on a Saturday night. They really have their head up their asses in these current organizations. WWE included, AEW, all the way down to Ring of Honor, MLW, New Japan, I think I said the NWA, Impact, TNA, whatever fucking organization that you're watching. Bring back the concept of Saturday night's main event. Yeah, you got to look at my dome piece for a second. Stand by. Stand by here. What are we doing? Stand by. Hold, everybody stand by. Technical difficulties here at Chaos Corner. Technical difficulties here at Chaos Corner. All right, here we go. All right, no copyrights, no algorithms. YouTube, come on, man, cut me some slack. They've been purging on the tube, taking away subscribers, and I'm trying to make a couple of bucks off the commercials. Help me out, man. You hear the voice of, that's good shit, pal. Vince McMahon Jr. and Jesse the Body Ventura. Speaking of Jesse, stop selling CBD gummies and worry about the state of Somalia. I mean, Minnesota. I mean, Sharia law. I mean, the United States. I mean, and what you got going on in the crumbling shithole of Minnesota. No offense, man. Because you know what, Ventura? You've been coming back and forth with me on X. Don't think that I don't know that you're seeing it and watching it, because it comes up on the analytics. I don't want to say stupid, how dumb and misinformed do some of the people have to be with the false information that's put out there by everybody. It doesn't matter if you're left, right, centrals, mid-rights, left, right. It doesn't fucking matter, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent. You're all full of shit. There's only one man to follow, one book to read that tells you what's going on in this world. Hercules to the top rope. Bam Bam catches him midair. He's going to press the big man. Hercules Hernandez, 1/2 of Power and Glory with Paul Roma. Big body slam by Bigelow. And Bigelow himself. And he comes in the hard way. Slingshot. Here's the cover on Hercules. Hooks the leg. Your winner, the Bammer. Wow. Big victory. Oh, hold on. Wow. What a matchup. Bam Bam Bigelow, one of the best big men in the era ever. Let's go up to the legendary Howard Finkel, the best ring announcer in this whole industry's history. And there it is. Bigelow with a big victory. We're backstage with Mean Gene Okerlund, King Kong Bundy, and Andre the Giant, the 8th wonder of the world. I gotta adjust some things here, guys, so stay with me.
King Kong Bundy, you hold a victory over heavyweight champion Hulk Hogan. That's the greatest night of my life. Don't worry about Bobby the Brain. He'll be back. No Hulk Hogan. A victory over Hulk Hogan. But I'm still not the heavyweight champion of the world. And that's what I want to be. That's what I'm going to the World Wrestling Federation. And I'm demanding, demanding a rematch. Only this time, I want this man right here, Andre the Giant, in my corner. And I promise all the Bundaholics out there.
Bundaholics?
With this man in my corner, next time, I won't just be Hogan. Next time, I will be the heavyweight champion of the world. Right, Andre? All right, you heard it.
And here's the aforementioned sellout, Jesse the Body Ventura. I used to respect you, Ventura.
You won it. As far as I'm concerned, you are the champion of the world. And there's no doubt in my mind, with this man in his corner, You're looking mean, Gene, at the heavyweight champion of the world. Big victory, King Kong.
Wow, big shout out to World Class Championship Wrestling and the Sportatorium as you see all the regalia and memorabilia down here in the vault. Well, let's go to the Pacific Outlook here on one of the commercials. The Weather Channel, Pacific Briefing, Hawaii, Alaska, and the United States West Coast. Let's see what they have to say. Remember, circa 1987, 88 right here. We even had commercials.
Light snows Talkeetna, just north of Anchorage, picking up an inch. Little light snow even in Prudhoe Bay, another storm system. Now, we've been talking about these storms all lined up for the West Coast. I want you folks in Seattle, Portland to see this. There's one, there's two, and you see this is a little wave that's developing. This one will also develop into a storm, and all three of them will charge in.
Talking about the Hawaiian Islands as well. To all my friends and brothers over there in the Pac Rim, Pehea, Oi, Meli, Hini, Kane, Wahini, Pupule, Wiki Wiki, even a Haole, Aloha, and Mahalo. In Honolulu, Hawaii, occasional showers, the low of 70 degrees, the high of 80 degrees. Anchorage, Alaska, possible snow, a low of 10 degrees, high of 0, or vice versa. Los Angeles, hazy, 68 degrees. San Francisco, a chance of rain, 57. And Seattle, 49 degrees. The Pacific Briefing, Hawaii, Alaska, and the West Coast, along with the Orient, Australia, and the South Pacific Islands. It's nice here to watch the commercials from back in the 80s. And here we go. We hop over to the AWA as Bill and Hog Irwin riding in on the motorcycles, the Harleys, if you will. It's the Irwin brothers, Hog Irwin, Big Hog Irwin, and Wild Bill Irwin taking on Big Scott Hall, a.k.a. Reza Ramon Chico, and Mr. Perfect, who went on to be Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Special referee is former pugilist Scott Ledoux. He was one tough son of a bitch. And this is what we do here, fans. We hop around from coast to coast, organization to organization, territory to territory, when a lot of these shows were on at the same time, especially during the weekends. And I taped them all.
This is a tough one for any referee, knowing the ill feelings between these wrestlers and the...
Now, is it Lee Marshall? Is it Rod Trongard?
On the line.
Here in a tag team matchup.
Irwin now muscling Scott Hall.
Wild Bill. Far side. No, out of nowhere. A big right by Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig came in on
Hennig and Scott Hall. Double team. Big drop kick by Hennig on Irwin.
With the right hand and then with a flying drop kick. And you get a count.
The Big Hog is in there to break it up.
The
The Irwins were double tough. Look at the size of Scott Hall. Back here, he looked like a combination of Magnum PI on steroids or HGH. It looks like they're in the Metrodome. We look like we're at the Metrodome in Minnesota for the AWA.
First one and then the other, and it looks like
Kurt Hennig with a big right to the jib. Down goes Wild Bill Irwin. Here's the cover. Ring awareness right next to Hog. Scott Hog Irwin, he breaks it up.
Don't underestimate Kurt Hennig in there with these bigger guys. He's got the...
And you can see it is the Metrodome because I could see the dome and the plastic type material that covered the Metrodome back in the day. AWA superstars, who I did happen to work for before. That videos are here on the channel, and I got just an information, an update here. I have a lot more of my own personal in-ring footage coming up to the channel that you guys are going to want to see. With the heroes, the Hall of Famers, the rookies, the legends, the young lions. Bill Irwin still in there with Mr. Perfect. Well, at this point, he was just Scott Hennig. Larry the Axe Hennig's son. Axe was a legend. Into the corner. Misses hard into the turnbuckle. Down goes Bill Irwin. Hennig misses with the elbow drop. Far side. And Irwin misses with the elbow drop. Nice side headlock takeover. Hennig holding on. Irwin trying to roll him over for the pin. And Hennig holding on to that side headlock. Again, you don't see the nice side headlock takeover that often anymore in today's age. Tonight we'll be going into SmackDown, followed by Rampage. Tomorrow, Collision. We're just coming off of AEW Dynamite, the return of MJF, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland. There's a lot going on in AEW, as well as Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, the Wyatt Six, which I personally am not a fan of any of the supernatural or horror type, sci-fi type stuff. It's not pro wrestling to me. And yes, I'm even talking about The Undertaker back in the day. I never liked it. Far side goes Irwin. Step down. Drop down. Step over. Hennig both down on the canvas. Headbutt chases Irwin out of the ring. Jammed to capacity here at the Metrodome.
He looked up, was hitting eyeball to eyeball with him, and he got out of dodge.
Here's the tag, and finally the bigger of the Irwin, Scott Hog Irwin. Look at the crowd here. I wonder if this was Super Clash. I was a part of Super Clash 3D in your face in Bullhead City, Arizona, on the Colorado River between Laughlin, Nevada, and Bullhead City, Arizona. What an event, outdoor event. On there were the Twin Turbos, Heaven and Hell. On there was Golga and the Oddities, the TNT, WCW Monday Night Nitro Dancers, whatever you want to call them. King Kong Bundy, DOA Crunch, yours truly, Justin Price, a.k.a. Justin Roberts, the Navajo Warrior. Unbelievable, who went on to beat Steve Titi in the World Strongman Contest.
The American Wrestling Association. Test of strength there in the center.
Here we go. Test of strength by Irwin and Hennig. Nice monkey flip, and Hennig holds on to it into a cover.
Great work by Kurt Hennig.
Hennig is one of the best. Why do you think they called him Mr. Perfect?
I really did.
Although if you listen to Hey Roma, the podcast, they wanted to give that Mr. Perfect gimmick persona to Paul Roma. That's a quote from Roma. And that's a quote from Kurt Hennig saying that he should be Mr. Perfect because Roma back in the day, especially in the WWF in the 80s, was one of the best pure athletes in the ring. And I know I'm a little biased, but these are facts. Roma played football, martial artist, pugilist, pro wrestler. I'm just saying. Hog Irwin is finally in the match. Nice double team work here by the Irwins, taking over on Kurt Hennig. Big Scott Hall has barely been in this matchup. The Hubert H. Humphrey Dome. Big body slam by Hog. And a boot to the jib, one of my favorite maneuvers. A nice boot to the head. Now he distracts and annoys Scott Hall, who comes in. The referee has to get him out, break him up. In the meantime, the Irwins drag Hennig over to the corner. That's perfect tag team wrestling 101. Cut off the ring. Cut off your opponent from his partner. Work on a body part. That's tag team wrestling 101. Hello? Is anybody home? McFly. Big clothesline by Bill Irwin. He tags Scott Irwin back in. Double teaming Kurt Hennig. Hennig's in big trouble. I know I'm doing a lot of the play-by-play because back here the sound wasn't the best. We don't want to screw with the algorithms. I don't want any copyright. Come on. But again, this is my own personal footage from the vault of Chaos Chronicles. Side headlock by Hog Irwin on Kurt Hennig.
He cannot quite get there.
Oh, a thumb to the throat by Hog. Drags Hennig over into his corner. Puts his neck over the ropes, choking him out. Now remember, there's ring ropes and then there's steel cables. Know the difference in the organizations and what they lose and how they're different and how they're tightened and the different feel for them as you see everyone from Braun Breaker to Jade Cargill to MJF slipping off these ropes. Remember that. Do your research. Do your due diligence.
Tremendous amount of punishment here from the Irwin. And he is going to have to get some help.
Let me sit back and see if we can pick up some of the commentary. Again, there must have been, 30 or 40,000 fans here for the AWA. Big body slam by Wild Bill. Into the corner. Second rope goes Irwin. Hennig's flat out in the middle of the ring. Oh, he goes for the double axe handle, flying, and he misses. Hennig rolls out of the way. He's got to tag in Big Scott, a.k.a. Magnum P.I., and here comes the big man. He was never known for being a guy that fires up as a face. Big body slam on on Scott Irwin. Knees to the labans of Hog. Takes both Irwins together. The old double noggin knocker.
Boy, the man from Tampa is wild and ready.
Hall now tags Henning right back in. What the fuck is that all about? Double team. Beautiful drop kick by Henning. I wouldn't have tagged my partner back in. He just got his ass kicked for the last 10 minutes. Why would you tag him in after you came in for 2 or 3 minutes? That's hiding your weakness. That's giving it over to the more experienced veteran. That's just my opinion. And now, look, both Irwins have taken over right now on Scott Henning. And now Hall's finally back in the ring. All 4 men in the ring. Irwin throws Kurt Hennig over the top rope. And Hall, out of nowhere, picks up Wild Bill. Big body slam. Turns his back on Hog. Hall was not the worker he ended up being in the WWF and then with WCW. Hennig is back to the top rope. Missile drop kick on Wild Bill Irwin. Here's the cover. 3 count. It's over. Hennig and Hall win. Here comes Hog Irwin with his motorcycle boots. And he hits Hennig across the dome piece. The same with Scott Hall. Both men are out. Scott Hall, at this point in the AWA, rather green. You could see it in the ring. He barely worked. He looked a little slow, a little sloppy.
Even though the Long Riders were not victorious.
The Long Riders were not victorious. Let's see what they have to say.
You have to say that his life overall was
Larry Nelson on the backstage here. I believe it was Larry Nelson. Lee Marshall, Larry Nelson, Rod Trongard. I don't know, man.
Irwin, a winner. He didn't win that match, but
Woo.
the person who gave it everything.
Listen, we're over 30 minutes in already on episode 11. It's the fastest YouTube show on TV. Let's see where we go to next, fans. Thanks for being here. Here we go. NWA Worldwide. Right away, I see the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express in the ring. It's breaking down. Ricky Moore and Robert Gibson. Let me lower the volume here.
Midnight Express, the present champion. Down here is 2 teams in the ring. There's switch the World Tag Team titles.
Robert Gibson, beautiful Bobby Eaton. What a war. What a feud. What a rivalry. You talk about the Freebirds and the Von Erichs in the early 80s in world class. Let's go to the NWA, Jim Crockett, WCW, whatever you want to talk about. The Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express was an unbelievable rivalry. And the ever-present, omnipresent Jim Cornette with that fucking tennis racket ringside. Tommy Young, your referee. Eaton and Gibson. Big right to the jib by Bobby Eaton. It's Eaton and Stan Lane for this edition of the Midnight Express. I've said it every time. Nice reversal, series of reversals. Gibson with a big body slam on Bobby Eaton. Nice arm drag. Into an arm bar, locking him up on the canvas. Big Bubba Rogers also outside the ring with Jim Cornette. Quite the faction back in the day. Again, and I've said it on the first several episodes, here in the late 80s, going into the early 90s, on all these videotapes, especially the 80s, the importance of tag team wrestling and the focus on tag team wrestling. It was a huge part of these cards. A lot of times in the main events or double main events, it's just the way it was. I have to squeeze my head because of what happens today in 2024, where there's no focus on the tag teams. Stan Lane, Ricky Morton now in the ring. And I talk about the different concepts and connections and teamings of the Midnight Express. There was Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton, perhaps the best in my opinion. Then there was Sweet Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton. And then, of course, Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey. So those were your 3 different connections, mixtures of the Midnight Express. Managed by Jim Cornette, obviously. And then, of course, Paul E. Dangerously managed Condrey and Rose. And then the whole feud there between the Midnight Express and the original Midnight Express. Gibson, beautiful spinning toe hold on Sweet Stan Lane. Round and round we go. Where Gibson's going to stop, nobody knows. Quick tag, here comes Ricky Morton. And of course the Midnight Rockers took their gimmick, their persona from the Rock and Roll Express. I'm just saying, man. Fans, stay tuned. You never know when we're going off the air. Abruptly, we just go off the air. I don't know what the heck's going on here. That's why you have to stay tuned. You never know what could happen here. And I know I did a long opening monologue, almost 15 minutes. when this is up on the premiere, say something in the comment section in the chat room. Give me your ideas, your suggestions, what you think of this series, what you think of the matches, the era. And again, don't forget, email me. I gave you my 2 email addresses, for crying out loud. Right now, the Rock and Roll Express taking over on Sweet Stan Lane. Let's listen to the legendary Bob Cottle. Dropping the knees of Robert Gibson across Stan Lane's ankle, across his calf, holding him in his corner, making a double team. Nice leg sweep, and then here comes the tag to Ricky Morton. Oh, and they're spreading him like they want to break a chicken wing, roll over and give the double jib, a fist to the jib of Bobby Eaton. That's tag team wrestling. You say they were undersized, that they were smaller grapplers. Yeah, but they were fast, and they made up for it in agility and teamwork, speed, quickness, ring awareness. Once again, Morton locking up the leg of Stan Lane in the Rock and Roll Express's corner.
And the Rock and Roll continue. And look where they got Sweet Stan. Now, here's the part of the match that goes unnoticed sometimes, but they got him way over here in their corner.
Bingo.
Stan, a lot of punch with it.
Lane really selling that left leg and knee. Trying to get to his corner. He tags Beautiful Bobby. Here comes Eaton. Nice drop toe hold by Ricky Morton. And again, into a spinning toe hold. Here's the tag. Here comes Robert Gibson over the top rope, dropping that knee across the leg of Bobby Eaton. Beautiful teamwork. Tag Team Wrestling 101. Bunkhouse Stampede in Philadelphia. We know the first one was in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum. A little commercial here by Tony Schiavone. Give Schiavone credit. He's still relevant today in 2024 in AEW. Although he's got his head up his ass. No offense, Tony. I loved you back in the 80s, man.
It's the Bunkhouse Stampede in Philadelphia at the Civic Center.
Right now, Bobby Orton has Robert Gibson tied up. But Gibson won't let go of that leg. He just won't.
Some nights, you just feel it. You know you got it, and you know you got more of it.
Looking over the shoulders of Jim Cornette and Big Bubba Rogers. Outside the ring, again, hardwood floors, or either concrete floors, no mats. It's Bobby Eaton, face first into the ring post by Robert Gibson. Fast and furious. Gibson up to the top. Double axe handle down on Beautiful Bobby. Here's the cover. He didn't hook the leg. Hook the leg, Gibson. Back up to the feet. Right to the dome piece by Gibson. Drags him by the leg. Here's the tag to Ricky Morton. Morton stomping on that left leg and knee of Bobby Eaton. That's what you do. They were doing the same thing to Stan Lane. Pick out a body part. Break it down. That's what you're supposed to do, man. This is for the titles, as you just heard from Bob Cottle, for the NWA World Tag Team titles. The Midnight Express. Don't go anywhere. NWA Pro Wrestling. We might be going to a commercial. We come back. Robert Gibson outside of the ring. Stan Lane is in. Stan Lane, Ricky Morton. Wait, a Big Bubba outside. Grab Robert Gibson with a big right to the dome piece. You get hit by the 380-pound Big Bubba. You're in big trouble. Of course, we know Bubba went on to be the big boss man in the WWF. I know you guys know that. I'm just reinforcing here.
Civic Center, Saturday, December 26th, and it all starts at 8:30. A 20-man, anything goes, bunkhouse battle royal for $50,000 for the winner. Entered Road Warrior Animal, Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, Ron Garvin, Freebird Michael Hayes, Tully Blanchard, Larry Zbyszko, and Baby Doll, the Warlord.
Nice vertical suplex by Bobby Eaton on Robert Gibson. Only a 2 count.
Lex Luger, Ron Garvin against the Warlord, many others. It's the Bunkhouse Stampede.
Face first into the turnbuckle goes Robert Gibson. Bobby Eaton taking over. This match has been back and forth. Both teams have been taking the worst for wear. Both teams have been on their heels, have been on Queer Street, have been reeling. This was the rivalry and the feud between the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. And once again, as I said in the last couple of episodes here on Flashback, our condolences go out to Ricky Morton and the Morton family for the passing of his son. Rest in peace. Our condolences to Ricky Morton, all his family and friends. Sweet Stan Lane tagged in. A big elbow to the third vertebrae of the lower lumbar region of Robert Gibson, who really wearing him down. Now Morton's trying to come it in. He's trying to break it up, but all you're doing is getting Tommy Young to interfere and push it back into the ring and give the Midnight Express more chance to double team as Bobby Eaton will one to the jib of Gibson. Here's the cover. Hooks the leg. Only a 2 count on Robert Gibson. He was double toughed. Gibson trying to fight his way back. Collapses in the middle of the ring. Drop toe hold by Eaton. By Stan Lane to keep him in the corner. And now Eaton's in. Listen, when you call a Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express match, it's fast and furious, man. Beautiful swinging neck breaker by Bobby Eaton on Gibson. Here's the cover. Only a 2 count. Wow, the Gibson double tough. Rear chin lock from Bobby Eaton. Put all that weight down as Morton's, stomach first on the canvas, putting that weight on the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the lower back, the jawline, the neck, the head. The pressure's unbelievable. It's like having your head in a vice. Imagine that. I've had my head in a vice before. It wasn't pretty. Gibson is trying to come back. Roundhouse by Gibson. He still can't get to Ricky Morton. Bobby Eaton taking back over. Got him tied up in the ropes. And there's the tag. Sweet Stan Lane is in. This really is tag team personified. You won't see anything like this in today's 2024. Name one tag team. Who? FTR? Who? The Acclaimed? Who? The Usos? Who? I feel like an owl. Who? What, anybody? Bueller? Anyone? There's a knee to the jib. Gibson finally to his corner. Here's the tag by Ricky Morton. Not too many faces fire up like Ricky Morton. Rights to the dome piece of Bobby Eaton. Taking over on Sweet Stan Lane. Morton holding his own. All the men right now, the wind, the stamina, it's unbelievable. These men are gassed. Double team effort by the Rock and Roll Express. Double drop kick. Down goes Bobby Eaton. Here's the cover. Where's the referee? No referee in sight. Tommy Young has been tossed out. Big Bubba's in the ring. Bubba's got Ricky Morton. Far side off the rope. Big side slam by Bubba Rogers. Morton is out, quivering like a flounder being pulled out to the deck of a boat. Big trouble. Tommy Young is nowhere to be found. Jim Cornette's got that racket. Out of nowhere, it's the New Breed. The New Breed have taken the racket, beating down Cornette, beating down Bubba Rogers. And he throws the racket, and he uses it to his partner. I believe that's Cruz. And there's this disqualification. He hits Ricky Morton by mistake. Tommy Young saw it, but a disqualification. I believe the Midnight Express have retained the titles. And here it is, the New Breed, explaining themselves that they hit the Rock and Roll Express with the fucking racket from Cornette. Bunch of fuck ups. Oh, I apologize for cussing, man. I don't mean to.
I don't know what happened. I came up and he kicked out. He was going to come back and kill the guy. Hey, I'm sorry, man. What are you thinking, buddy? Sorry, man. Please. I know. I know.
Here's Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson confronting the New Breed.
U.S. title match here.
U.S. title match. They just cost them the U.S. tag team titles.
Come on, we'll watch you back. You watch our back. You take care of your business. We do ours, okay? We got to get it. I tell you, we can watch it again in slow motion. Let's see what happened again here in slow motion.
Entering the ring, weighing 275 pounds, Hercules.
We jump back to the World Wrestling Federation and the legendary Howard Finkel as he introduces Hercules with the chains.
43 pounds, Ivan Hudson.
The Polish power from Krakow, Poland. Toria, Kroteka, Toria, means that I love you so. Polish power. Do you remember the Polish power, Ivan Putski?
What do you think of the Polish power, dude?
Here we go. It's the Duke of Dorchester, Pete Doherty, on the call with Gorilla Monsoon. Putski was like a fire hydrant, like a Sherman tank. So it's Ivan Putski against Ray Hercules Hernandez. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try to kick back and let Gino and the Duke of Dorchester take over. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, wait, the wrong button once again. What are we doing here, Chaos? Oh, sometimes I really have the brain of a turnbuckle. No, what am I doing here? WKRP in Cincinnati. WKRP in Cincinnati. You never know what's going to happen here on Chaos Corner. I have the DVD set up for WKRP, the legendary comedic series in the 80s, and Flashback. Hold on.
Now, less than a couple of
wow.
We're interviewing this ball player after the game.
Let's see what happens here. We're back to the Polish power and Hercules Hernandez. You never know what's going to happen here on Chaos Corner. That's why I'm assuming you're here. One of these days we'll sit down and maybe we'll do a marathon of, let's see, because it was a gift. DVD WKRP in Cincinnati. Too much? Too soon? Too late? This is ring generalship, ring showmanship. 5 minutes in, they haven't even had a lockup or thrown a punch, playing to the crowd, posing down, trying to shake hands, talking to the crowd, extending the match, generalship, showmanship. You don't see that today, do you? And now both men shaking hands with the grip, the power grip on Putski and Hernandez. Both men in phenomenal shape, shredded, jacked, ripped, buffed like shredded wheat. Putski at one time in his 70s was about 280 pounds. Now he's about 240. He's unbelievable. Let me stand by.
Quite a bit, I would assume. On the part of all of them, yes.
I'm going to kick back and relax here. We're almost 50 minutes in. We usually do anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, give or take when we go off the air, because just like back in the 70s and the 80s, it just stops out of nowhere. We just go off the air. No reason. It just happens to make you come back for more. You never know when this is going to stop. You never know when the broadcast is going off the air. That's what it's all about.
One of the things I do like in this world is touch the absurd every now and then. Yeah.
You know, you do want to look into a mirror once in a while. Maybe you might get stuck.
Beautiful collar and elbow.
Looking for a little opening here. They're tugging away. Duke, you can do me a big favor. Don't put me into either category, yours or his.
Now, I'm not sure of the third man in the booth here.
We don't want you to feel too bad.
Believe me, down there along with class is better than being wherever you two are. Duke's got a lot of class there.
You know who it is? Former AWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Bockwinkel. Class personified. So it's Gorilla Monsoon, Pete Doherty, and Nick Bockwinkel in the WWF on the call. Bockwinkel was one of the best technical grapplers and pure gentleman and true class of what a world champion's supposed to be like. Putski with that side headlock with the jackhammers. I always seem to be a few seconds ahead of the legends. Am I right about that? Oh, nice eye rake by Hercules. One of my favorite maneuvers as a pro wrestling manager. The eye poke, the eye rake, a metal chair to the head, an elbow drop, a clothesline, a boot to the jib. What I say? I'm telling you the truth, man. I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm still full from the beats. Hercules taking over with those double axe handles on the lower back. Forearm shivers to the lower back of Ivan Putski, the Polish power. Not sure what arena we're in here on Chaos Corner. Headbutt by Hernandez to the rather shredded abdomen of the Polish power. Big right to uppercut to the jib of Putski.
The muscles of the lower back are rather universal. There's nothing
and Hercules with that trademark bear hug on Putski. Putski used to use the bear hug himself, but Hercules, the much bigger man as far as height and perhaps weight, is just crushing down on that lower back of Ivan Putski. Hercules, if you get that bear hug incorrectly and know how to apply it and get the leverage, whoever's on the opposite side could tap out. You're in big trouble, or you get a broken back like I had at one time. That's right, I broke my back and made it all the way back. Let that sink in.
So to speak, to the engine, and sooner or later the lights go out. All those muscles are absolutely useless if they don't have the oxygen in the blood.
And again, you won't see this in this day and age. Both men methodical, using holds that would last for a minute or two, a couple of minutes, showmanship, generalship, ring awareness, charisma. That's how you did it. It wasn't all about getting your shit in. Everything's a high spot, a false finish. Everything is fast and furious. Tell the story. Let it breathe. Go through your pacing. Putski coming back with those trademark right hands. Far side goes Putski. Misses. Herc pick him up. Side backbreaker. Here's the cover. He grabs the leg. Hercules pins Putski, but he had the trunks. He had the trunks. Hercules over Ivan Putski.
It was an excellent wrestling move on the part of Hercules because up to the point...
Putski trying to put up a debate here with the referee. And now it's breaking down afterwards. The Pier 6 Brawls, the Tony Brooker, the Slobber Knocker. Putski beating Hernandez outside of the ropes. We look like we're... And he takes a swing at the referee, Putski. He was a little cantankerous, Ivan Putski.
From Samoa, weighing 300 pounds, Sika.
We stay in the World Wrestling Federation. It's Sika of the Wild Samoans.
His opponent is from Stone Mountain, Georgia, weighing 248 pounds. Here comes Jake the Snake Roberts.
Here's the matchup. Listen to the fans. We're at the Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens, the World Wrestling Federation. It's Jake the Snake Roberts and Afa of the Wild Samoans, the legendary Samoan dynasty, the original bloodline. Gorilla Monsoon on the call. Again, the legendary Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens. One of the greatest venues in pro wrestling, certainly in North America and no doubt in Canada itself. And he has Damien with him. Sika was a huge individual. Mobile, agile, hostile, and nimble. Here we go. And the nice ramp that used to be even with the ring in Toronto, you came right out and you were level with the ring. You get thrown off that ramp or out of the ring, it's a little higher than the traditional Boston Garden, Madison Square Garden, the Hartford Civic Center, the New Haven Coliseum, the Philadelphia Spectrum, all the legendary arenas around here, the Providence Civic Center, and so on and so forth. Obviously, the size and strength to Sika and the quickness and the ring generalship maybe of Jake the Snake Roberts. Nice arm wringer by Jake the Snake.
First thing, I don't know, for my money, I'd want to take this guy off his feet as quickly as I could.
Sika, obviously, bootless. Jake with the snake boots. Often wearing the red long trunks with white Samoa on the side. Jake in the ever-present snake themed tights. Not sure who the referee is. Big chop by Sika on Jake the Snake Roberts. Nice front face lock by the Sika. And again, once again, I'll say it. Look at how they slow things down, work at a slower pace, tell the story, let the fans get into it, build up the psychology, the storytelling, and wrench it in that front face lock by Sika. This is pro wrestling. A lot of fans today say, chaos, it's boring. I got to sit here and watch a holder maneuver for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or for even 60 seconds. I want to see high-flying, flipperoo, dunkaroo. No. That could be today's day and age. That's what you want. It's exciting. I'll admit it. These guys work hard. But this is my pro wrestling. And I'm not being the over 50 demo god, the old man brand. I'm not. I'm telling it like it is. Tradition, honor, respect. That's what it's all about. The rearview mirror is smaller for a reason. But without that rearview mirror and recognizing where you have been, you will not get to where you are or look in that huge windshield to get to where you want to go. Look back and respect it. It's smaller for a reason. Don't be stuck back there. Come on here. Look up in the windshield. Step on that gas pedal. Full speed ahead into the future. I get it. Remember those who paved the way and made the sport, the industry, the business what it is before it became fucking total sports entertainment and we lost kayfabe. We're almost an hour in, so I hope you stayed with me here on episode 11. I don't know when we're going off the air. Nice reversal here. Front face lock by Jake the Snake Roberts. Both men trying to hold it in, and the much tougher and stronger Sika takes back over, sapping the strength of Jake the Snake Roberts. Sika, a true Samoan savage. And then I got the volume a little lower here. Again, remember the circa time frame, 87, 88. I was a mere, 24, 25 years old at the time. Wow.
Are you talking about you and me? You? Oh, yeah. Well, I know where my strength lies in that field, but I was just questioning. That was rather a la natural. A la natural. Okay. You mean so up on all these Polynesian groups? You spend a lot of time over there in the Hawaiian Islands? Yes, I have. Well, there certainly are a lot of Samoans there, are there not? Yes, there are. Remember, the entire Samoan nationality.
And I believe, again, on the commentary here, for his brief stint with the World Wrestling Federation, the legendary former AWA World Heavyweight Champion, class personified, a true gentleman, Nick Bockwinkel, on the call with Gorilla Monsoon, talking about the Polynesian culture, the Samoan culture, the history, and where it all started, including the High Paramount Chief Peter Maivia, Leah Maivia, the Wild Samoans, King Curtis Ayukea. Jake finally with a little momentum. Far side goes Sika. Sika with the big toe and the big bare foot to the throat of Jake the Snake Roberts. Here at the Toronto Maple Leaf Gardens for Chaos Corner. Flashback on a Friday, going into the long weekend. And we're in a heat wave. It's like a heat wave burning in my heart. Heat wave, can't keep apart. No? What? Sika now tying up Jake. Nice chokehold. Legal or illegal, he's got Snake on the canvas. And once again, the rear chin lock, but from a standing position, putting all that 300 plus pounds on the upper body, the deltoids, the traps, the neck, the dome piece of Jake the Snake, the back, down the spine, the vertebrae. Sika tried to really grind it in there on the nerve hold on Jake the Snake Roberts. Big Samoan chop across the back of Jake the Snake Roberts. Once again, working on the nerve holds and the pressure holds. And fans, if applied correctly, will stop any man in his tracks. Jake back to his feet, trying to get out of this nerve hold. Again, a nice pacing of the match. People could say it's slow, it's boring, there's no action. That's you. This is pro wrestling. I get the business has changed, more danger, more high flying. They want people to jump from the roof because people want more. The fans want more. The IWC. That's why there's all these fucking injuries in these companies. Because you make these wrestlers high risk. What's enough? Fire, tables, ladders, chairs, steel cage, barbed wire. What fucking more do you want? Jump from the top of the building. It loses its effectiveness, and this is how everybody gets hurt. Sika stalking Jake the Snake Roberts. Big left to the bonds of Jake the Snake. Side headlock with those martial arts Samoan chops to the throat by Sika. Choking out Jake in the turnbuckle. Big chops. You can hear it all the way here in Chaos Corner. Far side into the turnbuckle. And Jake moves out of the way. Here's a chance. He rolls up Sika. Hooks the leg. Holy shit. 3 count. He pinned the Samoan. Jake the Snake. What an upset. Sika attacking him afterwards.
Somewhat controversial, but a great wrestler. Wow, out of the ring. Santana throws around the aisle, right out of the ring, and takes it down on the concrete.
Here we see Kevin Sullivan, Florida Championship Wrestling. Fans, we're down here in Florida. Florida Championship Wrestling with the man from the dark side, Kevin Sullivan. Wow! We gotta go! We gotta get off the air! Don't go anywhere, come back, don't you dare miss it! Holy shit!